Chapter 1. Who, What, and Why. We must admit that what each of us believes, comprehends, or accepts about our who, what, and why is very important to the way we perceive ourselves. First, let's look at who. I think I know who I am. I am a living being. I have consciousness. I have the ability to reason. I have emotions. And I believe I have a will to make choices that will affect my life and the lives of others. Free will is also what I like to refer to as my soul, the real me, the person that can't be detected through dissection. I would hope you have similar qualities and abilities. I do not consider my body or flesh to be who I am. Therefore, my who is much more than just my body. I know I have a physical form, as do you, but I consider my form or body more in the category of what I am. My tangible existence, which is what you may assume or perceive by looking at me, is usually who you think I am. I'm sure my body would like me to think that's who I am also. Haven't we all judged one another by appearance? And doesn't the world glorify those who are physically beautiful? Some people have undergone complete makeovers, such as facelifts, liposuctions, tummy tucks, and yes, boob jobs just become someone people would like. Even though they appear different to others, they're still who they once were. After undergoing these procedures, many still perceive themselves the way they always did, as shy, unattractive, and unlikable. They wonder if people will accept them even after their cosmetic improvements. The soul and will cannot be altered by going under the knife. But some people who have had life-saving surgery realize they've been given a new lease on life, and their new perspective can alter their will tremendously. Some of the strangest-looking people in the world are some of the greatest individuals I have ever met. They are incredible souls, kind, gracious, trustworthy, and yet their appearance may be unusual or considered unattractive. Some people even believe who they are is determined by their occupation or their position in the pecking order. Others believe their who is determined by their monetary worth and their earthly possessions. The truth is that what you are is totally dependent on the condition and state of your body. Your physical condition not only affects what you are, but can also confuse you regarding who you are. I also believe your soul or will does not have to be affected by your body's condition. Your body ages. Your soul or the will does not. Therefore, your who never grows old. As to the question why, this point is still open for debate. Of all the questions that anyone could ever ask, this one has stumped the best of the best. Why do we exist? Without a better understanding of why, or the reason for existence, our lives are little more than an opportunity to please ourselves. Vanity, vanity, all is vanity. To date, man's speculations on and searches for the meaning of our why has left most of us hopelessly confused. But with the information brought to us through an alien family, this why of ours is crystal clear. It should no longer be misunderstood. That's right. We can know the meaning of life, and it's possible to understand it apart from any religion. At this point, let's focus on the distinction between our body and what we call the soul or will. We must also consider our makeup. Which one is the real us? Is it our who or what? I don't want to make it look like you're one or the other. I believe you are both at the same time. You can't have one without the other. There's a union between your who and your what, but never a fusion or confusion. One never becomes the other. There's a distinction between who you are and what you are, but never a separation. I think you just wrinkled your forehead now, and you may be a bit confused. This sounds deep, but it's really not that deep. Our species is one being, with two distinct parts, a body as the form, but what I'd choose to call the real you is a living soul. I realize we could get into a great discussion over body and soul, but until we look into and unravel this alien's who, what, and why, it will not be too clear. Again, I'm trying to distinguish simply our personhood from our form. Recognizing the distinction between body and soul, we then can determine which of the two is in control most of the time. If you strongly believe you are primarily a body, then your body has a tendency to override your will. If you believe you have a soul, your will should be able to keep your body in check. You see, you're actually more like the one you think you are. If you believe you are more than a physical being, capable of making decisions to control your body, you most likely would be able to control your body. It's like being able to tell your body what to eat or not to eat, what to drink or what not to drink, what it should do and what it should not do, and a big one, what it should say and what it should not say. The individual that has little control over his body's actions shows that his will or soul has little control over his body's conduct or desires. Recently, my little grandson was caught doing something he was told not to do. As his dad caught him in the act, this cute 3-year-old little man said, "Daddy, I just cannot control my body." Out of the mouth of babes. It took me almost half of my life on earth to attain such wisdom. What you believe concerning your who, what, and why plays a major role in the development of your personhood, or what you will become. Our who, what, and why are completely overlooked as the source that controls our bodies and souls. But once we understand the distinction between our who, what, and why, we can truly say, "I was blind, but now I see." Having a warped conception of our WWWs can make us do the strangest things. And the WWW that I'm talking about is not the World Wide Web, although I believe the use of the World Wide Web can easily help us define our who, what, and why. By observing what we do online, we often reveal who we are. A simple click on our history or bookmarks can reveal much about our likes and dislikes, our political views, health concerns, and even the religion and God we choose to follow. Our interest can give us a pretty good idea of who we are. I came up with a phrase: "Tell me what you do with your free time, and I will tell you who you are." We must all consider the reason for our existence. Some people believe they exist to enjoy all the good times they can have before they get old and die. Then there are others who can't get enough beer, wine, and booze. They just party on. Oh, and don't forget the sports nuts. Without their season tickets or broadcast of the events, they would have nothing to live for. There are some less fortunate individuals who never had the opportunity to indulge in the interests I just mentioned, but are content just to get enough food, drink, clothing, and shelter for the day. No matter who you are, we all fall into the same category. Our who, what, and why affects our attitude and daily performance. Mankind's daily routine keeps the average individual pretty busy. But in the quiet stillness of our hearts, haven't we all pondered the reason for our existence? We all must recognize that this earth we share is the most perfect environment for us to dwell in. I agree that our environment has problems, some of them resulting from the modern conveniences we enjoy. We must always pay a price for our pleasures and technological innovations. But will our bodies let us endure the comfort of fewer conveniences? Take a serious look at what I'm talking about here. Don't third world countries have a right to experience all these marvelous new conveniences that make life more tolerable and comfortable? Our fast-paced lifestyle is one of our greatest distractions. To have more, we must work more. We are slaves to our desires. Why shouldn't all the people of the world experience the rat race that Americans live in? Don't we want them to experience the brainwashing we've experienced? After all, more is better, isn't it? In this chapter, we will look at the age-old question that I feel must be addressed before we can truly live. Somehow, some way, each of us should consider the true purpose of this experience we call life. We have all wondered if our lives and the wonderful world we inhabit was just an accident. Are we special? Are there others out there somewhere? Where did we come from? Is it possible that we are all alone in this vast universe? These questions are the basis for all world's religions. Isn't it also one of the reasons for the scientific community's unending search through space and across the earth, and even deep into our fleshly bodies? Talking about our who, what, and why has also been the catalyst for divisions in families, friction between friends, and war between nations. How can you discuss religion or politics without mentioning our who, what, and why? How many people excuse themselves from a conversation by saying, "I don't discuss religion or politics"? I believe the reason we don't like getting into debates on these subjects is because we aren't happy with either one. In our increasingly diverse culture, religion and politics seem mysterious, cold, and impersonal, not to mention controlling, and there's always room for more debate. To make it even more complicated, when discussing our who, what, and why, we have a tendency to resort to our own religious beliefs, or our lack of religious beliefs, which is a religion in itself. Members of the ACLU are a perfect example of those who claim to have no God or religion, and yet cling to a doctrine in the same way that members of a religion do. Most religions have a code of conduct and a set of beliefs, and so does the ACLU. Alliances between those who say there is no God and demonstrate their belief in the way they live are practicing a religion. Let's go one step further. They expect others to abide by their notion that there is no God, and to ridicule those who believe otherwise. I've heard them call it this silly notion of God. These people are faithfully practicing their godless religion. They promote their religion over the airwaves like evangelical ministers selling you a bill of goods. They are totally confused about their who, what, and why, and yet they want you to become like them. When asked about the why, or the purpose of their existence, they consider it a non-question, because to them there is no answer. Bill Maher is the most outspoken adherent of this kind of religion. As for our other outspoken atheist friends, like Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens, who stand firm in their beliefs, they have both said that there is a possibility that a life force more advanced than ours may exist. And if they're right, we would probably make that force our God. God bless them all. But in case they find this phrase offensive, I'll say, nothing bless them. They are all standing firm in their religion, yet they claim they are non-religious. One of the world's religions began when the children of Israel claimed to have been delivered out of slavery in the land of Egypt by the hand of God. Then, after 50 days, they were given the 10 words, better known as the 10 Commandments. These 10 words define them as a people, as a group, and as a religion. The practice of keeping the 10 words, or the law, was understood in the way they lived. The form of their compliance to the law and the God of Moses, who delivered them from the slavery that was imposed upon them for 400 years.